If you were planning to build your ultimate dream desk setup around the next Mac Studio this year, I have some news that might make you pause. You might have been thinking about a summer upgrade, but the timeline has just shifted in a big way. There is a massive delay coming for the 2026 Mac Studio, and it is something Apple cannot fix overnight. We are talking about a roadblock that even billions of dollars cannot easily clear. The reason is simple, but devastating: memory supply. Before we dive into the deep end of these leaks, do me a quick favor. Almost 90% of people watching right now aren't subscribed. If you want to stay ahead of the curve on Apple's secret timelines, hit that subscribe button right now. For a long time, the tech world was convinced the next Mac Studio would arrive at WWDC in June. It makes perfect sense for Apple to launch a Pro machine during a developer conference. We have seen this pattern before. But that dream is officially fading away. According to the latest supply chain updates, June is no longer the target. Instead, Apple is now aiming for an October release. This isn't just a tiny scheduling conflict. It is a significant shift that throws off every professional who was planning to upgrade their workflow this summer. Apple would love to take your money right now if they could. They aren't delaying this just for fun. This delay is rooted in a global shortage of high-performance memory. This isn't just any RAM, it is the specific, high-bandwidth memory that these powerhouse Macs depend on. The problem is that Apple isn't the only one who wants it. The massive explosion of AI has changed everything. Data centers, AI server farms, and tech giants are buying up every single chip they can find. They are spending billions to secure their AI future. Unfortunately, when these massive companies start hoovering up the global supply, your personal Mac Studio becomes a lower priority for the manufacturers. You can actually see the warning signs right now if you look at the current Mac Studio lineup. The issue isn't performance, the current models are still absolute beasts. The real problem is availability. Right now, if you try to order certain high-end configurations, they are simply out of stock. Apple is literally leaving money on the table because they don't have the parts to build the machines. When a company as efficient as Apple can't fulfill orders, you know the situation is serious. It's a rare sight to see Tim Cook, or even John Ternus, unable to ship a product because of part shortages, but that is the reality of 2026. This creates a massive concern for the upcoming M5 Mac Studio. If Apple is already struggling to find enough memory for the old models, how are they going to launch a brand new, more powerful version? There are really only two ways this can go. First, Apple could launch the M5 Mac Studio, but limit the RAM options. However, that would be a huge mistake. Professionals buy the Studio specifically for high RAM capacities. If Apple cuts back, it would feel like a downgrade. The second possibility is that they launch it in October, but it becomes impossible to find. We might see shipping dates slip into 2027 within minutes of the launch. Let's move past the bad news and talk about why people are so excited for this machine in the first place. The M5 Ultra is going to be a monster. Apple's Fusion architecture is the secret sauce here. Imagine taking two incredibly powerful M5 Max chips and fusing them together so they act as one single, massive brain. This allows for incredible scaling. In early tests, we've seen the M5 Max chip, which is built for laptops, actually beating the current M3 Ultra desktop processor. That is mind-blowing. A laptop chip with fewer cores is now roughly 5% faster than a 32-core desktop powerhouse. When you double that performance to create the M5 Ultra, the results are going to be terrifyingly fast. The M5 Ultra isn't just about raw speed. It's about how that power is delivered. Because the Mac Studio is a desktop, it has the thermal headroom to let the M5 Ultra run at full speed without getting hot or loud. There were rumors that Apple might change how the CPU and GPU are structured to allow more customization, but that's looking unlikely now. The M5 Ultra will probably stick to the tried-and-true method of doubling up the Mac's chips. It's a design that works, so Apple isn't going to fix what isn't broken. Speaking of design, don't expect the OU side of the box to look any different. Apple is famous for keeping desktop designs for a decade or more. The Mac Studio is already a masterpiece of industrial design. It's a compact metal box that fits on any desk and stays quiet under pressure. While a space black version would look incredible and definitely feel more pro, Apple usually prioritizes the internal hardware over the paint job for their desktops. Most pro users don't care about the color. They care about how fast they can render a 8K video or compile millions of lines of code. So, here is the big question. Should you wait for the October launch, or just buy what's available now? My best opinion is this. If you are currently using an old Intel-based Mac, or even a first-generation M1 machine, the wait for the M5 will be life-changing. The performance gap is huge. October is only a few months away, and in the grand scheme of things, that wait will pay off for years. However, if you are already on an M3 Ultra or an M4 Max, the M5 Ultra might be an incremental upgrade rather than a total revolution. You also have to consider the availability gamble. If you wait until October and the supply shortage is still bad, you might not get your machine until next year. If you absolutely need a new computer for your business today, it might be better to buy the best machine currently in stock rather than chasing a ghost. But if you have the luxury of time, waiting for the M5 Ultra is the smarter move. It will likely be the most powerful consumer desktop ever made, and it will stay relevant for a very long time. This launch is going to be a massive balancing act for Apple. On one hand, they have the most impressive silicon in the world. On the other hand, they are fighting a global war for parts. As we get closer to October, we will see if the supply chain stabilizes, or if things get even tighter. One thing is for sure. The 2026 Mac Studio is going to be the gold standard for performance, even if it takes a little longer to get to our desks. Stay tuned as we keep tracking every single update from the supply chain. If you like the video, subscribe, share the video, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates on the M5 lineup.